On November 20th, 2018, Teamtronics took to the McKimmon Center in Raleigh to compete in the annual first-year Engineering Design Day competition. Together, the team successfully executed their animatronic project, earning a third-place ranking. How did we do it? Let's reflect on the design cycle.
Hi, I'm Timothy Bouchel. I'm currently dual majoring in electrical and computer engineering.
Hey, I'm Eileen Peterson. I intend on majoring in aerospace engineering.
I'm Elizabeth Beyer. I am majoring in biological engineering.
And I'm Matthew Clayton. I am majoring in industrial engineering.
Our initials spell out T-E-E-M, making us Teamtronics, a team of engineering students in Dr. Nancy Shaw and Olivia Filmer's section of E101, Introduction to Engineering and Problem Solving.
Initially, we defined the problem. The competition provided us with the requirements and constraints.
First, the animatronic figure must move on its own in some way. The movements must not come from human input.
Second, any material may be used, but construction must be entirely unique and the final product must adhere to size requirements. The figure must fit inside an imaginary cube, which is half a meter on each side.
Fourth, the figure must have a creative intent associated with it, but the creative intent and the structure do not have to be the same thing. We decided to make our figure rather than animate a pre-made option.
Fifth, the figure should be battery operated.
Sixth, the figures will be judged based on the categories: quality of research, craftsmanship, creativity, function, and clear intent.
Finally, our budget was limited to $40, including batteries. However, we chose to create our project without spending any funds.
Next, we conducted research to establish a foundation of our animatronic project. The history of animatronics dates back to the 17th century and was used by many clockmakers. The first animatronic figures were cuckoo clocks.
A person you may know who revolutionized animatronics was Walt Disney. He saw their potential to add to theme park displays and to liven up movies. The first use of animatronics in a movie was a bird in Mary Poppins. Disney theme parks remain home to the most advanced animatronic figures.
As author Jane Desmond notes, humans have long been fascinated by the creation of liveness in animal display, and animatronics is simply an extension of this principle. Early ideas of animal animation are rooted in 19th century American taxidermy. It is easy to see how a popularity for taxidermy would naturally lead to more advanced robotic animal figures.
My research was relative to what sort of tools and components we would need to use and how to use them. I researched the use of a 3D printing software in order to create our model, and the necessary training to use the 3D printers in the ECE makerspace. I also researched the use of coding for and use of an Arduino.
Following the research, we had appropriate knowledge to begin brainstorming solutions. We decided to focus on replicating 1 degree of animal motion. This led us to the motion of wings flapping. Timothy brought up the idea of a lunar moth, a unique figure to replicate. We started drafting the design. The process of lowering and raising the wings was inspired by the movement of an umbrella, and we designed ball and socket joints for the wing connections.
We had to come up with a plan to execute our concept properly. Some of this plan was created in our team contract assignment, where we formally assigned the roles of each team member.
I served as the team manager. I was responsible for reserving rooms for meetings and submitting assignments via Moodle on behalf of the team. I kept track of the timeline to ensure we stayed on track to complete our project.
I served as the design and modeling facilitator. That means that I helped design the animatronic moth and ensured that it maintained the integrity of a moth design, as well as helped alter the structure to better suit the ability of the animatronic.
I served as the point of contact for our group. This essentially means any time my group had a question or needed clarification on an assignment, I would communicate with the TA or instructor in order to discover the answer. I also completed any assignments requiring submission through email response, or form submissions.
I served as the materials procurement coordinator. In this role, I was responsible for keeping track of the resource room hours and acquiring materials from there. I was also able to make sure that we constructed our project without spending any of our $40 budget.
In our team contract, we also created our mission statement and goals as follows. Teamtronics will strive to create a unique and innovative animatronic figure. Along the way, we wish to create a strong learning environment amongst the group members and an increased problem-solving mindset as a group and individually. While having fun, we will keep ahead of our deadlines and continue in the process of completing this project to the best of our ability.
Ultimately, we wish to acquire team building and problem-solving skills through this project. We created a timeline to guide our design development up until FEDD.
With our plans in mind, we moved forward with creating our first prototype. We needed to test our prototype multiple times before FEDD. The main problem that we ran into with our first prototype was that there was a lot of friction between many of our moving parts. Another issue that we ran into was that our motor was much too aggressive and we had to gear it down to make the wings flap slower. We also had to compensate for small inaccuracies of the 3D printer, in addition to working with leverage in order to enable the motor to effectively move the wings.
To address these issues, we planned out our next steps to improve the design. We needed to complete the sanding for smoothness and create a structure for the moth to stand on. We also needed to try different motor and arm configurations to properly provide movement. Finally, we needed to finish the artistic design of our project. We created a new, updated timeline to keep us on track before FEDD arrived.
When our team attended FEDD, our moth functioned as designed, and we had the privilege of earning third place in the animatronics section. FEDD was an amazing opportunity for us to share what we had worked so hard to create. If we were to improve on this project for the future, we would use an Arduino board to make our design more complex and controllable.
The most important piece of advice we could give to future FEDD teams is to manage time wisely. We planned ahead and had excess time that allowed us to adapt to setbacks in our design and modeling. Without managing our time the way we did, we would not have had time to react to unexpected deficiencies in our design and delayed procurement of materials.
Overall, this project was a great opportunity to execute the creative design process as well as work on a group project. FEDD was a good chance for us as freshmen to get experience solving problems in the form of a hands-on group project.